So we're gonna go through the basic cleaning, prepping, and storage of ʻulu. It can be very intimidating because with ʻulu is really sappy. I mean, they used to use the ʻulu sap for various, you know, the Kanaka, they were like very MacGyver-ish, you know what I mean, right? Actually. And so what they did was they used the sap sometimes to catch birds for the kiamanu for the ali'i. They put the sap on the branch and the bird would come and they take the feathers and that was it. And you taught me something too earlier about what they did with the sap.
The va'a, the sap of the ʻulu. They kind of just cook that up and it become the resin and the caulking for the va'a. And as well too, you know what? Another fun one I learned. This was our traditional hair gel.
Hair gel?
Hair gel, you know, it was crazy, like mahiole kind.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hair gel.
And what did we use to take them out? That's the next question.
Go swim for about 2 hours in the ocean.
As the years went by, you know, I heard, oh, put the ʻulu in the ice box overnight. So I put this one in the ice box last night. And you can see, one, it's easier to cut through. And two, you know what, a sap coming out.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, you see here, look how much of the sap is dripping.
You see the sap is dripping already over there. Yeah.
Oh, I remember the times having to help cut the ʻulu.
Yeah, so and sticky. So like even touch this. I mean, it's a little bit wet, but look, it's not sticky.
Oh wow!
I take the whole ʻulu, pop it in the pot. If you don't have a steamer, just put it in the pot with water, boil it. You gotta roll them, and it only takes maybe about 40 minutes. So this is a parboil. So what I do now is I do that and I take the ʻulu.
Ooh, yeah. That's a whole ʻulu. So
this
is a big ʻulu too. So
wow. I just parboil it. And then what I would do is at this point, take it, wrap it really tight in saran wrap. Smell it, yes? Oh no, yeah.
Oh no.
I wrap it in saran wrap really tight and I just put the whole thing in my freezer.
Oh.
And now I gotta tell you, one ʻulu is more than enough for one family of 4.
Oh yeah.
You know, depending on what you're going to cook it with or how you're going to cook it. So what I always have in my house is ʻulu ready to go. So how do you know when it's done?
Guesstimate them?
Guesstimate them, no. If I don't want too quick, but like the potato.
So if you just go right inside.
Yeah, when you go right inside and it comes out and
like
you cannot poke that, you know. So same thing with that. Then at that point, when I take it out, sometimes I quarter it because I know I would like only a little bit, and so I'll wrap a couple quarters in the and put it in the freezer. Nice. That way, if I need a more or less, you know, I got it ready. And then it's just
wow! Look at that, just like butter.
Yeah, like butter, exactly.
Wow.
You know, and actually, you could pretty much just scrape it off with a spoon if you wanted to.
It's like kalo.
Yeah, like kalo, exactly. And so 6 cuts, and there you go. Yeah. So what I do is then I cut it off like pieces, and you know, however you wanna do it. Now, just FYI, the core is edible.
Okay.
It is. Like, think about it. When you go eat ʻulu chips, it's so thin. They leave the core, and you eating them. So you could eat it. When you freeze the ʻulu and you defrost it, it's not gonna be like this. So you know, like with the kalo, when you freeze kalo or when you freeze,
come all grainy.
When you get the poi and it defrosts, is like it's not poi, it's all crumbly, right? But when you heat it up, the magic happens. And so the scientific part of it is all the starch molecules will reconnect, and so it becomes starchy, and that's you know what I mean. That stickiness back to it.
Gotcha.
So that's the same thing with the ʻulu. The ʻulu is going to be the same way. So don't kind of freak out if you take out your ʻulu and it's kind of weird when you heat it up. Yeah,
heat it up.
When you heat it up, when you cook with it, it'll all get good again. ʻulu can be eaten at different stages. So I've actually seen people that have come that pick the ʻulu like this. It's really small.
Pretty big.
Yeah, and what they do is they cook it. The difference is the texture.
Oh.
So what happens is it becomes really, really rubbery. Yeah, so you can taste the ulu, but still in its young stage, it tends to be more of a rubbery. So even when you grate it, even when you cut it up, the texture is really different. Yeah, so my thing is, wait till you get the brown spots, the little sap, dots on the outside, and then you're ready to go. There you go. That's the basic, simplest way I know to prepare ulu for storage, prepare it for eating. I just want to really quickly show you guys that I do a lot of cooking with ulu. I don't use potatoes anymore, and if I do, very, very rarely. And the reason for that is because I went to this seminar and they were talking about utilizing our local starches, as you said, and they were talking about potatoes. So this one gentleman came up and he started talking about potatoes and how they are so oversprayed, because everybody wants that perfect long big potato. Because when you go to the fast food joint and you order French fries, the first thing you do is pull out the longest one, right? You get the long French fry. So they do that, and in order to do and get big potatoes, they have to spray. Now, what really freaked me out about this whole thing is that they spray so much that the sprayers go into the field with full hazmat suits. They spray, and then they put up signs, and no one is allowed back in the potato fields for at least 3 days. And we're eating that stuff, and it's in the dirt. So I started learning more, and I was like, you know what? There's no reason why we cannot replace ulu with potatoes. I mean, potatoes with ulu. Replace it. Yeah.
And the ulu has been part of, especially here throughout Oceania, Polynesia, Micronesia, Melanesia, in the Asian Pacific regions. Ulu is a primary starch for us too. It's lasted thousands of years before the introduction of the typical Irish potato. Or Irish potato. We had sweet potatoes and such too, but ulu is really a principal starch. And that's something that we're recognizing in this time of recognizing health, health and well-being, and really looking to how our food is cultivated. So here right now, this is ulu grown just in someone's home or even in the wild, and these starches are super healthy and then falling all around us. And this was a very principal part of the kanaka diet for Native Hawaiians. And when you read of the history of the physique and healthiness of kanaka maoli, well, why not return to these types of things? And it's also, this is available.
It's readily available.
It grows here, and it grows well in the tropical regions. So this is ways that we can help to mitigate against that type of factory chemical farming, and also for massive transportation costs and oil and all that kind of stuff. Local and healthy.
Exactly.